last morning. So I'm sorry that I didn't go live. I'm sorry that I didn't go live yesterday at the proper time. But listen, I went live and gave you some good heat, right? So I didn't want to talk about the same thing because it was talking about Neanderthal DNA, right? And I noticed that these certain topics they only get one or two views. They don't get views because basically it's like they putting like um a bot on it, so all the notifications don't go out and let you know when I'm going live and talking about these topics. But these are the individuals that send this on my search. I wasn't talking about DNA. I wasn't talking about certain things. Why would you send this inside, right, of my search? I guess that was your way. You watching my channel. That was your way of answering these questions to see if I have answers um, to these questions that been here since the creation of mankind. To see if I have the answers. To see if I can shed light on the darkness within inside of you. Right. So they said that Neanderthal DNA leads to autism. If that was the case, if Neanderthal DNA leads to autism, why was it happening back then? Because to our knowledge and understanding, the indigenous people, we didn't even know nothing about no Neanderthal DNA. We didn't know nothing about no autism. We didn't have that inside of our procreation of procreating the descendants. We didn't know anything about that. Now I'm gearing in towards the actually um beginning and when we came to this earth. None of that was in the bloodline of Neanderthal, of autism. Autism wasn't even in existence then. They didn't really have no child or someone that was dealing with mental disability. Mental disability was unheard of. This is facts. We didn't have that in our civilizations. We didn't have any of these things of um a child's coming in deformed in the world or something like that. You know, if a child came in deformed, that means that it was touched by the devil, demonic, evil, twisted. That's how we would look at it. It was touched. It was touched. That means that from a spiritual sense, that's what we would say. It was touched in our civilizations. I don't know about nobody else. You want to do a scientific um study and stuff like that, and why these certain things happen, and you want to use the brain, you want to use nervous systems to get a more scientific terminology based on your study on why things go. We say it was the us would say that it was touched by this demonic, evil, twisted, barbaric devil demon. This is facts. We would not say that this is mixed in with Neanderthal DNA. And anyone that don't understand Neanderthal is of the category of Homo sapien, Homo erectus, right, which was procreated, saying that man came from ape. And I thought this study and this way of life was eradicated. I see that it's still here, it's still kicking, it's still live. You still have individuals saying that we evolved from apes and all of these other things and stuff like that, Um it's crazy and sad that right now I don't got no views. I'm already 5 minutes in because you know why? This channel is blocked from viewers from tuning in, from getting the actual true knowledge. But somebody's going to watch it. Somebody's going to view it after I load it up. Somebody's going to watch it and view it. That's a fact. So, with this understanding of mine, is that autism started from Neanderthal, us procreating with other civilizations. Now, first and foremost, I want to know, where did all these disease? Where, first of all, where this DNA of Neanderthal man or Neanderthal woman came about? Because we all know from this point of view that mankind was already sent down here with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding based on our civilization, based on the indigenous people that's been here in the earth, way here in the West, in the West, in the West. The West is the father, the East is the East is the mother. The West is the father, the East is the mother. So, who was doing this Neanderthal DNA? Who was doing this and didn't have knowledge, wisdom, or understanding? I'm not coming at nobody's civilization. I'm not coming at anything. We all know that from our civilization, which taught mankind to survive and to civilize all things that was uncivilized and felt that they was civilized, we was there to bring you knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, right? Straight from the creator, straight from the Alpha Omega, to keep things balanced and just. Now, if individuals was living this way, um, I didn't see no documents of it. They say they said that people was living like they didn't speak. They were going ooh. They was, I don't know what type of language is that. They saying that there was individuals that was actually human beings that was talking like that. That was like that. That was about that life and they vibe and they energy and they civilization. Um, I'm gonna keep it real with you. To our knowledge and understanding, and us traveling throughout the universe, in and out the earth, everybody was like that. Because if we was created to civilize all civilizations, and according to us, everybody was didn't speak, or every people didn't have the knowledge or understanding, and people was doing just basic things and stuff like that until we came into existence and civilized all things and put things in proper perspective. If you want to get technical about that, but if you had a Pacific civilization that was living like that, I didn't read it. I didn't read it. People talked about it. People are talking about it. They got it up on science that there was a time where mankind, right, didn't they didn't have language. That was the language they was talking. Brutal, whatever. I can't even do it. I can't act it out. I cannot act it out. I can't act it out. I know that in our civilization that we was endured and blessed with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and with certain benefits and powers upon this earth. We came here with that. We not even from this earth. That's an actual true fact. We not from this earth. We from up top, spiritually. That's why I said the spiritual foundation is really, really important to learn spiritual guidance, spiritual understanding, spiritual foundations. So if this Neanderthal DNA was procreated or was here, why is it coming out now that these children have autism, that they have Down syndrome, and that they have any of these disabilities that's dealing with the mind, body, and soul? You understand where I'm coming from? Why is it coming out now? Why is it coming out on a fast and large rapid pace? Why? Why is it coming out now? All of a sudden, it's coming out now. You know, um, if 20 children is 20 children is is birthed into this world, maybe like 15 of them have Down syndrome or have autism or have some type of mental disability upon themselves, or physical disability. Why is it being activated now? These are the questions that needs to be put in place. No, it's not. It had nothing to do with Neanderthal DNA. It has something to do with someone is procreating something to affect these children. Now, it could be Now it could be airborne, it could be physical, it could be through a pill, it could be through shots. These certain things. And this is what I'm giving at. This is what I'm giving at that this happened. This had nothing to do with no Neanderthal DNA, which is lies, which is force, right? To get you not to see the bigger picture of these certain things. And like I said, if that's the case, Neanderthal, that's the case. Everybody around the world was Neanderthals. Everybody was Neanderthals, right? And to our knowledge and wisdom and understanding, we came down here with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Do you understand that? It was already inside us. So we was created for balance and justice to civilize the whole civilization, the whole entire world. Do you understand that? From darkness, from this entity. That's why we was created. That's why we was created. We are the hand of the Alpha Omega that created everything in existence. And this is why he created us and duplicated himself and breathed the everlasting of his piece of his energy inside mankind and brought mankind into existence, into life. This autism was procreated by man's own hand. That's what it was. It was procreated. Now it's spun up rapidly to affect our children and everybody. This is an actual true fact for fame, fortune, and riches, right? Lights, camera, actions. Yes, to do more study about this, about these certain things, because after studying the body and after studying the makeup of the human body and the brain and study the veins and study the connection, right? And understand the anatomy of the body and going to school for a very, 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 very long time, you will start to know and understand what chemicals and what certain things would affect the brain, affect the body. You understand where I'm coming from? You will start to know that from a human perspective. So, um, this is procreated. All of these disabilities, it's population control. It's population control. It's not in the DNA. Now, like I told you, if somebody was affected with that in our community, in our society, in the indigenous people of the earth, we wouldn't say it was autism, or we wouldn't say that it's Down syndrome. We would say that the devil has touched our child. This entity touched our child. The entity. You know why we would say that? Because it's from a spiritual form. Because this entity has the ability to touch your child in the mother's womb, which you cannot see that. A lot of women may not understand that, and they're like, "Nah, I ain't dealing with that." There's no explanation. That's why they blame this on Neanderthal DNA. They blame it over there. They blame this. They blame that. The reality, the fact is that this entity has the power to touch children while the child is in the mother womb forming. This is an actual true fact. This is an actual true fact. And the Creator talks about this in scripture. He talks about this. He talks about it. This is why it's really, really important to pray when you are procreating with your partner. This is why it's really, really important to pray, right? When you are procreating with your child, because this entity has power, right? Has power to touch your child and the woman. This is why this is a big campaign to destroy the descendants and destroy the concept of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. It's not telling you that this entity do that. That's the entity. That's the enemy. Yes. This is to all the ladies all around the world. If y'all are spiritual, okay, and you up and you believe in the Alpha Omega, the Almighty Creator, it doesn't matter what name you call him by. You believe in a higher power. The higher power tells us in scriptures that this entity has the ability to touch the child in the womb. That's an actual true fact. That's something that these individuals is not going to break it down. They're going to try to break it down in a scientific terminology and blame it on this Neanderthal DNA, which is a lie, which that you can trace, right? your lineage and your bloodline all the way back to however, and you never procreated with no Neanderthal. You never procreated with that. You never ever procreated that. There was no such thing of Neanderthal DNA. This is lies. This is procreated, right? To get you to believe in certain things. There's no such thing of that. There's no such thing of Neanderthal DNA. There's no such thing there. And I don't care nothing about no science, and I don't care about what he taught you, what he wrote down. How you doing? Congratulations, your bus job. Hey, bro, you remember me? Yes, I remember you. I remember you, man. Yes, I remember you. I'm glad that you here with me. I'm glad that you here. Yo, they they kind of like not getting my channel out right here, this topic right here, but I'm glad that you tuned in. I'm glad that you here, man. Yo, please like, share, subscribe. Get this information out to a lot of people because they're not getting these topics out. This topic that I'm talking about, they're not getting it out. They're not getting it out. They the one that came at me with this topic. So now they like not blocking my channel, but they doing something so it don't notifications and everything else don't go out to all of my followers and my subscribers. So they don't understand this topic right here that I'm talking about. The topic that I'm talking about is talking about Neanderthal DNA, right, is linked to autism and Down syndrome and many other different disabilities among our children. And I'm contacting that and saying that this is lies. This is procreated by mankind hands. This is lies. This is all procreated. So they don't want this information to get out amongst a lot of people. They don't want this information to get out. Now, under I have been subscribed. I know you did. I know you did. Thank you so much. I know you did. But what I'm saying is that they not getting these topics. I did a topic about this yesterday. I only got 2 views, man. I only got 2 views. You know, so the information is not getting out because I'm challenging this concept and these thoughts, right? Which is procreated to have you to believe that you're less than something else on who you are. You understand what I'm saying? And we all know from the indigenous people of this earth, we already know our vibes, our energies. We already was endured and imprinted with great knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and great benefits to lead the people to what? To the worship of the Alpha Omega, the creator everything in existence. Our job was to civilize the earth, anything in it and beyond it. That was our job, to civilize the earth, bring knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to anything that we felt that was not civilized, that did not know the creator. This is an actual true fact. Now, if we stumble upon a person that was ignorant, dumb, deaf, and blind doing certain things, it was our job to civilize. That was our job. That's our entitled because we are the right hand of the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything in existence, which is an actual true fact. Yes, yo, you got a new viewer. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, these teachings of Neanderthal bloodline DNA is force, right? Of Homo sapien, Homo erectus, Neanderthal, and all this other is nonsense. It's lie. We did not derive from apes into mankind as lie. We was already mankind. We was already here. Do you understand what I'm saying? The Creator already formed us from the earth, our physical body, and cloak the everlasting life that we have, the light. We are everlasting in the spiritual realm. We cannot be destroyed. Our spirits cannot be destroyed. So he cloaked it with what? The earth. With the earth has the beginning and it has an end. We know and understand that to be actual true fact. The earth has a beginning and it has an end. After we pass away, we all know that we go back into the elements of the earth. We go back to the protons, the neutrons, whatever our body's made up of. We go back into the essence. And we go back. That's a fact. To the beginning and to the end. You understand? In the physical form, there's a beginning, there's an end to that. But our life, us, we have no beginning and end. Our spiritual life. So these are the things that I'm talking about. Is that this is lies about a Neanderthal, about Homo sapien, Homo erectus, of these scientists. These are lies. These is all lies. Straight up. We was already endowed with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and civilized the whole entire earth. In the earth, outside the earth, and beyond the earth. We've been traveling back and forth out the earth and beyond the earth. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Our ancient ancestors did that. That's an actual true fact. So to lie and said that this is linked to DNA of Neanderthal man and Homo sapien bloodline, this is lies. This was procreated, right, to place upon our children with Down syndrome and autism. This is an actual true fact. And like I said, in our civilization, right, in the indigenous people of the earth, of America, the West, if we would see any of our child that come out like that, and this is no disrespect to any child that suffer with this, but don't believe his story, believe what I'm telling you. That's afflicted upon you. That's not something that's in your bloodline. This is a lie. It's a lie. I'm just telling you that, right? So this is something that flicked upon you. To all the women that had to deal with this in childbirth. In our civilization, what we was told, it was passed down from generation. Whether you believe it or not, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe what I'm saying, but what I'm telling you is true. If one of our childs come out like that off gate, you know what we say? This entity devil touched our child. That's the first thing that we say. And that's from a spiritual realm. Because we know it all too well, because we are spiritual. Do you understand that before we are physical, we are spiritual? We're in the spiritual realm, which is blocked from our mind, body, and soul. The creator blocks that from us. This is an actual true fact. There's no beginning, there's no end. We are the Alpha Omega, and the Alpha Omega is us, but with limitation. We are him, and he is us, but with limitations. That's why we say that our child was touched by this entity, was touched by this devil. If our child will come out like that, you understand that? That's from a spiritual form. These people going to say, "Oh, this is linked to Neanderthal DNA." First of all, we would never know Neanderthal. We would never know Homo sapiens, Homo erectus. For people that don't understand that, go check that out. The Darwin theory. Go check this information out, okay? We was never no apes that transform and throughout the ages transform into apes. This is a lie. These animals was already here already. Chimpanzees, apes, monkeys, everything was already here. It's an actual true fact that man was the last thing in creation. Mankind is the last thing in creation. That's an actual true fact. It's an actual true fact. So that goes to answer your question that this autism and that this Down syndrome and any other disability was procreated by mankind for population control. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to have you look at, well, you're going to be like, well, how the DNA of Neanderthal man come into my bloodline? That's what you're going to start thinking. You're going to start doing research, and you're going to start doing this. You're going to start doing that, or you're just going to just be like, you know what? I leave it to God. God, see, that's what everybody do. They leave it to God. Did God do this? They want to blame the Alpha Omega, the creator, everything in existence. Do you understand that? I'm gonna do a video, and this is never this video. What I'm about to do, I'm gonna separate the creators, and I'm gonna separate the entity. Nobody had never have done this before. Nowhere. Nowhere. I'm going to separate the creator and I'm going to break it down and I'm going to separate this entity, barbaric devil demon. That's a devil. That is an enemy. I'm going to separate both of them. And then you be the judge of that. Everything that we say, everything that we do, we always blame the Alpha Omega for everything. We always blame him. We always blame him. Always blame him. And I'm going to separate the blaming. I'm going to leave the blaming right here in the middle. And it's going to be the creator on the right. And on the left, this entity. And you be the judge of that. I'm going to do a part. I'm going to do a video on that. Okay. And I'm going to put it in my descriptions. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can know. I'm about to do another video after this that's dealing with the consciousness of the spirit, right? Why they never find scientific about this about the consciousness. See, they don't call it spirit, they call it being conscious. You being conscious. I'm gonna break that down. They can never find that because that's the alpha omega to creating everything in existence. Our images and our thoughts and what we procreate, that's part of the creator. The alpha omega, that's part of him. That is part of him. There has not been no species ever in existence that can procreate like mankind. Where are they? They don't procreate like us. Pyramids and buildings and subways. They do it a different way, right? In their civilization, which works for them. Which works for them. And I'm talking about insects and animals. They build certain pathways and certain traditional ways that's inside their procreation of one another, but they've been doing that for centuries. So we rise above that. So I want to get into that. I'm definitely going to get into that, right? So stay tuned, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.